Hello, Beak Squad. David Burns here with you tonight. Thanks so much for joining me for another live stream. So good to have so many of you here. Wow, I jumped on here about a half hour ago, and so many of you were already on here in the chat and getting pumped up and excited about being on here tonight. Got a special guest lined up here. I'm going to introduce him in just a few minutes, but let me take a moment and say thanks so much for being a part of the live stream tonight. I really do appreciate all of you for being here. Wow, what a great community of beekeepers it really is. Be honest with you, when I first did my first live stream over a year ago, I was a little worried that I was kind of used to other kind of beekeeping forums where people kind of get, how shall I say it? They get kind of, oh, I don't know, a little bit crazy sometimes in their positions, and they get all fired up and angry, and I just never really liked beekeeping forums because of that. So I was a little bit afraid that live stream would be that way, but it's been the opposite. The live stream here has just been a very great family community of beekeepers that really care for each other. And I always say this is a live stream with heart. We seem to have a great appreciation for each other and compassion and kindness toward each other. So I never take that for granted that all of you are so great, and it's so great to have you all. I'm happy to have Sherry and Jessica as well, working things and keeping everything going for us correctly. So thank you, Jessica and Sherry. So we've got a great 59 minutes of more fun than beekeepers should be allowed to have planned tonight. And I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of things tonight. And one of the most obvious things is we're going to be bringing in Alex. And in case you don't know Alex, he is just an awesome beekeeper. And he is from England. And I've started watching his channel. Oh, I think I've seen it maybe several years ago, but I just kind of got more attracted to different beekeeping videos that he produces. And I thought it'd be great to have Alex on and just share with him. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Alex. Hey, Alex.
Hello. Wow, thanks for the welcome. That was
Oh,
rather extraordinary.
yeah. You're just when I look at you, it's kind of interesting. I can't believe I'm actually talking to you. I mean, I know I'm on YouTube and people tell me that, but after watching your videos and gosh, kind of being a part of your life and so many things that you show and portray on your YouTube channel, it is just unreal that I'm talking to you.
Well, David, I feel a very similar way because I've seen your your videos over the years, and learnt quite a few things from them. So
Well,
to
thank
be
you. Great.
speaking to you in person, it is a little odd, isn't it? On the
It
other
is
side of the world
odd.
as well.
It really is. It's like I expect you to be doing a video and now you're talking to me, and it's just a funny feeling. And I
Yeah.
gotta say, if I'm your sweater is and that color orange. I see you wear that in a lot of your videos. I think that's pretty cool. It's your trademark. You could sell those. People would buy those.
Yeah. I People are constantly telling me I need to get a new jumper. They think that this is the only jumper that I own, which is fair enough because I do wear it in almost all of my videos.
Yeah.
But I do have other jumpers. Don't worry, everyone.
Oh, you need to get a jumper, and it needs to have just Alex over here on the pocket.
Oh yeah, I
People would
should get
buy
some
that.
printed. Yeah,
Yeah, embroidered on there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we'd all have one. Absolutely.
maybe I need to work on that soon.
Yeah. Well, it is a pleasure. I tell you, what I enjoy most, I watch very few videos because, as you know, those of us that make videos, we spend a lot of time editing and filming. We don't always have time to watch a lot of videos. But what I love most about your videos is just how calming and relaxing, and you are such a great filmmaker. You really are a great filmmaker, and I'm drawn to your videos because it's so soothing and relaxing just to watch you. I can think back. I haven't watched every one of your videos, but I've watched significant amounts of them, and I remember the one where you were staying in a cabin up in the mountains somewhere, and you had some cows or animals below the place where you were staying. That video, I enjoyed that so much. You were showing us how you start the fire and all. You have such a way of storytelling, and you are just Alex. That's such a great title for your YouTube channel, because when I watch you, you're just Alex.
That's very kind of you to say. I'm really happy that that is what you kind of got from the videos. Because when I make them, I don't really know how I want them to turn out. I don't really know whether they're going to turn out into good stories or not. When I'm making them, it's like all a bit of a mess. It's like, is this going to work? How should I film it? How should I tell this story? And then it all sort of slowly comes together. And then, yeah, it often takes a lot of time in the edit to put it together. But when it does, it always seems to end up working. So I'm
It
really
does.
happy you you think they're relaxing and soothing.
Oh, they really are. It's just great. I can't say how much I do enjoy them. And I love the last video that you made where you took, in fact, I have a clip. Let me see if I can play this clip.
We got a new beehive. Look at this. Beautiful. Oh, it smells good as well. Hey everyone, my name's Alex, and today I'm going to be putting together a new beehive. The beehives that you see, the wooden boxes that beekeepers have, they're only a very recent invention in the grand scheme of things. People have been keeping bees for about 10,000 years, like actually looking after them for honey production. But bees have been around for a lot longer.
Oh, that's just beautiful, Alex. And what I like about that video is you take such a simplistic approach to beekeeping. And I think, like, for myself, I've been making beekeeping videos for, I think, 16 years on YouTube now. And sometimes it's hard for me to say, "Oh, wait a minute. I need to make a video that's very simple for those that are thinking about getting into it, but haven't gotten into it yet." Because sometimes I seem like I'm making them more complicated as I learn more. But I like how
Oh,
simple you would take it. It's great.
no, I think it's very common when you learn more, um, and start learning more about a subject. It's then harder in some ways to teach it to beginners because you feel like, they must know that already. So you're on a different level to the people you're teaching. So I think, especially when I started making beekeeping videos, it was quite easy for me to explain things in a simple way because that's all I knew it as. I didn't know it as anything more complicated. But after a few years of making beekeeping videos, I'm having to be a bit more careful and try and make sure that I'm still explaining things in a simple enough way so that it's listenable. That might not be a word, but watchable by everyone.
Yeah.
Because I want my videos to be enjoyed by sort of the maximum amount of people possible. So yeah, sometimes you do have to take a sort of a wider view of it and think, okay, what do I need to explain here to make sure that everyone's on the same page? So
Yeah.
that's what I try and do.
Absolutely. There was a point in making videos, maybe, I don't know, a decade ago, and I thought, I can't come up. How can I come up with anything different? I've told them everything about bees, right? I was just like, but the more I started drilling down into it, there's just so much more you can talk about bees that it's just unbelievable. But you're right. I'm working on a video, and I've been working on a video for probably close to 3 or 4 months now, 6 months, on honeybee genetics, haploid, diploidy genetics of honeybees.
Gosh,
I can make that video very easily and quickly, but every time I do, it's not understandable. It's just like that. How do I make that understandable for people? Because the chromosomes are different than in humans, and it's just like I haven't made that video because I don't want to produce it until it is so simple that I want everybody to have this aha moment when they hear the genetics. So I listen to a lot of genetic videos on YouTube and all, and it's just like, ooh, if you're not scientific minded, you can't follow it. It gets too cloudy too quickly.
yeah.
That's the struggle, I
It sounds
think.
It sounds like a very challenging video to make
Yeah.
sound simple. It's not a simple subject.
It's not at all.
Yeah, so good luck with that, David.
Yeah. Well, you should do it. You have a more calming and a way of explaining it.
I could try, although I might not even understand it to begin
Some
with.
of my problems too. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, you have 500,000 subscribers. Congratulations. That is astounding. Wow.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of people. If you tried to picture that amount of people like in a
Oh
room
yeah.
or something, often I'm sat behind a computer, sort of making the videos. I can look at the analytics and see sort of how many people are watching, but it's very hard to actually picture that until yeah, it's hard to sort of imagine it.
Yeah.
But
It
yeah,
really
that's a
is.
lot of people, and I'm kind of surprised that that many people want to hang around and watch my bee adventures.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're not just a lot of your videos aren't just beekeeping. You do a lot in gardening and some woodworking. I like the ones you've done on knives and skiing, and you have all mushrooms. You have a good variety. A lot of people aren't successful at having different niches that they're making videos about like you are. Most people say that if you want to be successful, you got to pick one niche, stick with it, drill down, but you're pretty good about crossing over into other ideas and showing your other interests, and people are responding well to that.
Yeah, I guess that might be to do with like the fact that when I started my YouTube channel, although it was kind of a business idea, like it could I thought it could earn money in the future. Um, the main thing I wanted to do was explore interests and make stories. Um,
Yeah,
and because that was my sort of main goal, I didn't really think about needing to fit into a specific niche or yeah, I didn't constrict myself to one type of content. I thought I've just got to do what I enjoy, and I'm not very good at doing loads of one thing. I
yeah,
get bored very quick, um,
yeah,
and I need to be moving from one thing to another. Um, so yeah, I just decided to do that and not really listen to the advice of choose your niche and stick to it. And
yeah,
somehow it ended up working. I and I'm very grateful for that because it is quite fun being able to make videos about lots of different things. I don't think I could do just one thing. I'd struggle
yeah.
with that.
Well, I would love to make videos on other things, and I just can't bring myself to do it. I think people would love to watch me doing other things, like some of my other interests or my other hobbies. Some people have even told me, well, why don't you make a video doing this or that? But I'm so known as the guy that makes beekeeping videos that I think if I made something else, they'd be like, "Oh, where's the beekeeping videos? What am I supposed to do with my hive, David? Where did you go? Don't leave beekeeping. Come back." But it would be refreshing for me, and I think it would add to my longevity of doing this if I could make the occasional different videos. It'd be more fun, I
I
think.
think I think there's no harm and there's no um nothing stopping you from just trying. You could just
Yeah,
try one video of
yeah,
something else, maybe bike riding or
yeah,
cycling,
absolutely. Yeah,
and just see. Because I think it's e- it it's very easy to not do things because
yeah.
of like the worries that it might not work or people might be
Mhm.
upset if you make stuff. But at the end of the day, I think it's great to try new things
Yeah,
and if you only really learn from trying something random or trying something new.
yeah, absolutely. You have such an interesting life, and I know you some of that is very private. None of us fully understand, your personal life, which makes it all more intriguing to watch you, I think. But yeah, the beekeeping videos that you make are very helpful for people. The way you explain things in beekeeping, you explain what you're doing, and you have a very humble approach when you make your videos. You don't sound like you're talking down or telling people they have to do it this way. Sometimes you even act like, I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. It's really very very intriguing the way you make your videos on beekeeping,
Oh,
and I love it. Yeah,
I think, um, yeah, I always just try and be as honest as possible when I make my videos. I think if you're honest, then not much can go wrong. So I think
hmm
if you say something which you don't know is correct or not factual or a bit silly, I think it's great to own up to that. And I think there's something really nice about seeing people who um kind of know that they're not the best at something.
yeah,
It can be, I mean, I do really want to be good at things. Don't
yeah,
get me wrong. But also I think it's nice to realize where you are at with something. And um and I like to just, yeah, I think I just like being honest with people who watch my videos. And I just think that if you tell people um if you tell people to, like, if you're showing people how to do beekeeping, um then I don't know. I feel uncomfortable with that because I know that I'm not really the person to to tell
yeah, yeah,
people.
yeah. Well, I think you're right. When you stop and think about making the videos, how do I come across, and what kind of energy do I put into it? People really do like it when we can show them that we're struggling, or we're struggling through understanding this like they are. I mean, a lot of people want to know the answer. Just give me the next step to do, David. Hurry, tell me what to do next. But I think sometimes people really can connect to us when we say, "I'm just perplexed. I'm not sure what this is," or "I've never had this happen before." Then they're like, "Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. You now I see you as a real person," and I think that's powerful.
No, absolutely. I have a sort of a one of the ways I make my videos is every time I come across a part of the edit which I think, oh, I should cut that out, I stop and I leave it in. Because,
Really?
like, if something goes wrong, if you, I don't know, accidentally drop the frame and the frame falls on the floor and the bees get angry, or um, something happens which you're like, ah, they're real moments, and
Yeah.
they're the things which everyone else would cut out, and they're the things which I think are kind of a little more. It just, yeah, it just shows the realities of it a bit more, and I love being able to share the real thing.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll have to make a note of that because I have piles of film on the floor where I thought I can't use that. Oh no, I'm not going to show that. Oh my gosh, this was terrible. This was horrible. I remember one
Okay,
time
maybe sometimes there's a limit.
yeah, I remember one time we were filming my daughter. It was years ago. My daughter was filming me, and I was like, okay, I don't think I had a hat and a veil on, no gloves, and I was going to do something, and oh my gosh, that hive just lit me up. It was just like stinging me everywhere. And I'm like, cut, cut. Nope, we're not filming this. I got to do this different. Wow, it was bad. So there are those moments.
Yeah.
Well, Alex, I want to say, do you have some formal training in film? I mean,
Um,
you just do a wonderful job. It looks beautiful what you produce.
Thank you. The short answer to that is no. I never studied it at a college or university. Um, but I guess I've been doing it for a long time. I say a long time. When I was about 7, I started making videos. Um,
Hmm.
Very bad videos. Uh, but it was just something that I picked up and I just did a lot.
Oh gosh, yeah,
I
that's
then
amazing.
I managed to get a job working for a company when I was about 17, I think it was, and they wanted me to make product videos. It was actually like a fishing tackle company.
Mm,
So my job was to make the videos, and the people I worked with, I learned a lot from them. So I had some training, I guess, but not formal training, just sort of doing it a lot, and then watching other people's videos, watching films, and then in
yeah,
trying new things. I think I've learned a lot over the past 3 years just from uh, believing that I can try something new that I haven't seen been done before, and just sort of hoping like if I feel like it works, then I just give it a go and
yeah.
see.
Wow.
Um, you learn a lot that way. I think just
Yeah,
trying new things.
it's amazing. Yeah. Hey, Sherry and Jessica, let's ask our audience if they have any questions that they want to ask Alex. I mean, be able to ask him some questions from the audience. I think they'd have a lot of
Uh,
fun getting some answers.
I'm very impressed by all these people who are commenting. You've got an awful lot of people here.
Oh, I know it. Yeah. Oh, here's a question for you, Alex. How are your hives surviving now that you've moved them to Cardiff?
Cardiff.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
nearly got it. Cardiff
Almost.
is just up the road, about an hour away, I think. Um,
Hmm.
but I'm actually living in Bristol, so the other side of the river which divides Wales and England. But the hives are doing okay. There was a warm day a couple of weeks ago where I managed to have a look inside the hives for the first time of the year. All my queen bees were alive, but one of them wasn't laying at all. There was no sign of any brood. There were very few bees in the hive as well,
Oh,
which
yeah.
was worrying. Anyway, I tried joining that hive with another, which had a good queen, like a queen which was laying eggs, and then I checked them very like a few days ago, and they're all good now. They've joined together. It
Oh,
was right next to the other one, so all the bees that were coming back to the same hive, it was close enough for them to just find the other entrance.
mm,
And yeah, I've got one less hive, but the hive that I do have is a lot more stronger, it seems.
that's great.
Um, but no,
Yeah.
the weather here has just been horrible. It's been just raining. We don't get it very cold here. It just rains
Mm.
all the time,
Oh
and
my.
obviously when
Oh,
it's
that was,
raining, the bees don't really want to
yeah.
come out.
Yeah.
Which has made being able to actually know how my bees are doing. I haven't really been able to check them much,
Yeah.
but
Right.
today and tomorrow, we're getting some really good weather. So sunny and warm. So I'm gonna check the bees again tomorrow and see how they're doing. But they're bringing in lots of pollen, so that's always a good sign.
Here's another question. I'm a twin and wondered if your twin is interested in your bees too. Are you a twin, Alex?
um, it's funny. I have a brother who is 3 years older, so not a twin.
Oh.
Um, but he has appeared in my videos a couple of times. Um, but yeah, lots of people thought he was a twin.
Oh, he looks like
um,
you. I don't guess I've
but
seen that video. Yeah.
he he is interested in bees. However, he's also allergic to bee stings.
Ooh,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, he doesn't get near them.
Well, here's another one. Alex, you're a younger beekeeper. You look all 16 years old. But how did you get into it? Good
um,
question.
it is a good question. I get asked this quite a lot, and I have to really try and think what it was that made me want to do it. Um, I w- it was about 4 years ago. I had never thought about bees really, like never thought much about these animals. Um, but I was out walking one day, um, near my house. I used to live in quite a rural area in the countryside, so I used to go walking a lot. And I heard this noise which sounded like a helicopter almost. It was like a rumbling from above. And I was sort of like looking around, where is this helicopter? And then I realized it was just this huge swarm of bees. But at the time, I didn't know it was a swarm. I just thought, whoa, these bees are, I don't know, angry. They're going to chase me and sting me. Knew nothing. I didn't know what they were or what they were doing. But they passed almost through me, like a cloud of bees went
Yeah.
over my head and off into the distance. And I guess that was like my first sort of encounter with honeybees. And then after that, I started noticing them more in, I don't know, videos or in news articles. I just it slowly built up more and more. I uh, recognized and saw honeybees in different places, and then I sort of I was uh, I'm always looking for new hobbies and new things to do, and I just thought, how about I could try keeping bees. I didn't know what it would entail at that time. I thought it would be a very simple task of having a beehive in the garden, and you just sort of take the honey.
Yeah.
um, and then I joined the local bee club. I don't know if you guys have like local bee
Oh, yeah.
clubs.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, I joined the local one of those, and that was quite a thing. Like I was like, wow, I did not realize there were this many people interested in bees.
Mm. Yeah.
Um,
Right.
and it joined that, and it was during the COVID time, so they were doing lots of like Zoom meetings.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and I joined a couple of those, and the members would ask me like, "What are you doing here? You're our youngest member." um, uh,
Wow.
and I would explain to them that I don't keep bees. I'm just interested and I want to learn a little bit more about them. And then a very kind lady from the bee club said, "Do you want some free like old equipment?" And then a man from the same bee club was like, "I have some bees if you want them. I'm just down the road
Mm.
from where you live." And I was
Mhm.
like, this is scary. I can't accept this offer. I can't do this. This is too much to take on. Um, but then I don't know. I was in a good mood one day, and I replied to them and said, "Yes, I'm gonna take the offer. I'm gonna take the bees and the wooden boxes."
Yeah.
And once I had the bees on hand, you can't really turn back then.
Right. That's true.
You're fully
Wow.
committed, and yeah, I've just done it ever since for the last, I think, 3 years now. So,
Yeah.
um,
That's great.
but yeah, there sure has been times where I've thought, gosh, this is too much. This is this is a lot, especially during swarm season and
Yeah.
the summertime. I'm like,
I s
this is quite a lot to think about.
I see a question about swarm for you. Alex, is swarm control different across the pond?
I've watched lots of videos of people doing swarm control in UK and America, and it seems like the basics are the ideas are very similar. Um, I guess there's always going to be little tweaks and stuff,
Yeah.
but from my limited knowledge of it, yes, it it looks very similar.
Yeah.
But I couldn't go into details. I am not a very good swarm controller.
Yeah. I saw, this one says, "Alex, what have you learned and what would you have done different year 1?"
What have I learned and what have I done different to the first year? Oh gosh, a lot of things. Every day there's things that you learn. I guess one of the main things I learned on the first year was to not think about it too much. I know that sounds a bit odd, but like I would worry a lot. I'd be like, "Am I doing this right?
Yeah.
Um, should I be doing it differently?" And then often it would stop the sort of worries that I had would then stop me from doing anything at all. Um,
Mm.
so I definitely think like just go for it. Um, just try it out. It might go wrong. It might not. It doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter too much.
Right.
So yeah, not thinking about things too much, and also checking the hives regularly. Yeah, during swarm season, that was another thing. It was very important to do because my
Yeah.
first year I lost multiple swarms just
Oh,
because I
yeah.
wasn't, I wasn't checking them enough, basically.
Yeah.
But there's
Oh, yeah.
there's many things I learned, and that I would do different. Yeah, but I'm hopefully going to show those things in my beekeeping videos this year.
Yeah. Good. We look forward to that. Here's another question. How's the mites and beetles in your area?
I don't think, correct me anyone if I'm wrong, but I don't think we have beetles. Are they called the small hive beetle? Is that what they're called?
Mhm. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't think we have them here in the UK. You
Wow.
might get someone telling me that we do, but I don't know. I
It
can't
doesn't
be
seem it
sure.
doesn't you must
But
not, because if you did, you'd be
I've
telling us
never.
about them.
Yeah, so I guess we don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're lucky with that. The mites, however, we do have
Mhm.
quite a lot of them. Are they the same mite? They are the Varroa destructor, right?
Yeah. That's
That's
correct.
one
Yeah.
of the.
Yeah.
That's the main one that we find on our
Yeah.
bees, I think.
Right. Yeah.
They are controllable though. I don't think I haven't lost any hives down to
Mhm.
them yet.
Mhm.
But yeah, last year I was checking and there were loads of them. And it's
Mm.
crazy how quick they can reproduce.
Oh gosh, yeah,
Just
it's
over
terrible.
because I looked at some of the graphs of how they reproduce, and it's basically very
Oh yeah.
exponential. Like
Yeah.
the longer they are in your hive for, the numbers go up crazy.
Mm, you really do.
So yeah, most people here treat them in the autumn after they take the honey off. I guess it's similar with you guys.
Yeah, pretty
And then
much.
some
I
people
think
treat them again in the
prob
winter.
yeah, most of us usually try to stay after them year round. They're that bad, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a challenge. All right. What other questions for Alex do you guys have tonight? Yeah. Do you plan to expand your apiary this year?
I think I want to expand maybe it. I love expanding things and making things bigger and better. But I realized last year that even 4 hives was quite a bit of work during the summer months. And then when it came to the honey harvest, I only had maybe 5 supers full of honey, but my back hurt. So I don't know if I want to expand too much.
Yeah.
So I don't I think 5 hives is comfortable for me right now.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure if I'm gonna go above that, but we'll see. Things might change. I might catch some swarms. I put up a swarm trap in my garden today, so
Mm, yeah.
fingers crossed we can catch a
Yeah.
swarm.
Oh yeah. See, would either of us split a hive the first year hive, or why not? Yeah, I might split it the first year if they exploded really fast and they acted like a second or third year hive. I think I might be tempted to split if it was early in the year, but I never like splitting hives. I live where it gets cold, so I got to get my bees where they can build up for winter. So it's a lot of caveats there. What would you say, Alex? Would you split a first year hive?
I would say whatever David said. Listen to him. I would say just listen to David.
I'm going to start
I say
another
no more.
I'm going to start another YouTube channel, Just David.
Yeah, you should. You should. I think everyone should. Everyone should have just and then insert their name.
I think people would like me better if they saw who I am in all of their areas of life. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't know that about you. That's cool. Yeah. Hi, Alex and David. When receiving a nuke, should I wait before I transfer the frames or put them in there immediately? Have you ever done a nuke before, Alex?
Um, so the only time I ever received bees from someone else was when I first got my bees, and they came in a little transport box. I guess a bit like a nuke.
Yeah, yeah,
So when that happened, I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but I brought them back to my house in the night, um, and then early the next morning, I took the frames and popped them in a full
yeah,
size hive. Um, that's what I did, and it
yeah.
seemed to work.
I've done both. I've installed them the same day and I've done it the next day, and both work out fine. Sometimes when you
Hmm.
transport them, they seem to be a little more agitated from the travels, and sometimes you can let them settle down and do it the next day, and they're a little more calmer. Yeah.
Hmm.
I have my first swarm trap out. When I catch a swarm, do I move them right away to their permanent location or leave them alone for a while? I don't like leaving them there because they'll start taking foraging flights and they'll get familiar with what they think is their new home. So I like to move them as soon as I can.
Ah, interesting. I have never done this before, so
Hmm.
the only swarm I ever caught was above my hive, because they left
Mm.
the hive and went straight into a tree above it.
Oh,
Um, and yeah,
yeah.
I managed to catch them, and I just put them straight back in another box, which was very easy.
All the bees were like, man, we didn't get very far. Wow.
Yeah, they really didn't.
Oh, have you ever tried a flow hive or have you had any success with a
Uh,
flow hive?
no, I haven't. I've obviously heard a lot about them.
Yeah.
But I'd love to try one of them. It looks very satisfying
Hmm.
when the honey is pouring out. So maybe I'll give it a go at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another question, what are you looking to take up next?
Yeah, I have a habit of taking up new hobbies and doing new things. I really want to keep chickens.
Mm.
Um, that is something which I'd like to get into. But I'll struggle to do that where I live like currently, because I live in like a shared house. I've got 4 other housemates and
Hmm.
a small garden, so I'm not sure where the chickens will go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Sherry and
chicken
I,
keeping is coming soon, hopefully.
yeah, Sherry and I have had chickens here for many years. We don't have any now, but it was such a battle for us because we live out in the middle of nowhere. And oh my gosh, all the other animals they like chickens too. Fox and
Hmm.
I mean just raccoons and possum. It's just like every critter there was, they were just trying to attack our chickens, and we wanted them to have free range and opportunity. We kept them up at night, but the coyotes would come out in the middle of the day and get our chickens in broad daylight right in front of us. It was scary. So
Wow.
I tell people we just can't keep chickens anymore because the coyote tax is just too high to pay. But I love the fresh eggs. Oh my gosh. Wow.
That's what I really would love to have.
Yes.
I've been collecting egg boxes for the
Oh yeah.
last like 6 months. So I've got a massive stash of empty egg boxes in my
Wow.
bedroom. So I'm anticipating the day where I finally get chickens and
Yeah.
I'm able to fill up those boxes with my own eggs.
Yeah. That's awesome. Alex, do you spend a lot of time editing your videos? These are some questions from me now. I mean, it looks like
Hmm.
the videos, I know what it takes for me to edit a video, and you might be much faster and better than me, but it looks like to produce your videos, it would take a long time.
Yeah. The editing process is certainly the longest, most time consuming part of the video. Like I could film a video in a day, but then it could take up to a week to actually edit it. And then sometimes it takes longer. So yeah, I do spend an awful lot of time editing, which means I spend a lot of time on my own in my bedroom, which
Yeah.
can get a little boring. I've
Yeah.
actually started walking into town and sitting in a coffee shop whilst doing my editing. That's like my
Oh,
new
really?
way to
Yeah.
do it. Yeah,
Oh,
I get
nice.
order a coffee or a hot chocolate and just
Yeah.
sit there and edit away my beekeeping
Yeah.
videos.
I'm curious,
um,
what software do you use to edit?
I use Adobe Premiere Pro. That is
Okay.
the
Yeah. Yep. I
you've
use Final
probably heard
Cut
of it.
Pro. That's just, I use
Okay.
Apple stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, very similar thing. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
do similar things with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So yeah, I want to show this video again. So like, and I don't know if I can pause it. Let me see, because I noticed on this video how many different, I can't really play it again, I don't think, but how many different scenes that you had.
We got a new beehive.
Like
Um,
there's one scene,
Beautiful.
mhm.
Smells
and
good as well. Hey everyone,
then you have this scene.
my name's Alex, and
So you got a
today
few
I'm going to be
seconds, we're
putting
running
together a
running
new
some
beehive.
seconds there. Then you have this scene, which is
Beehives that you
cool.
see
Then you have that
Mhm.
scene, which is
wooden
cool.
boxes that beekeepers have.
And
They're only a
so
very
then you have
recent
these
invention
scenes and all.
in the grand scheme.
And so that's really impressive, that because that's what takes so much time editing, is when you got your talking, your voice overlay, but you have all these beautiful scenes coming. That requires a
Mhm.
lot of thinking and planning. Very nice.
Yeah. Well, I'll show you something. Hold on there 1 second.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Look at that. We're getting a full view of Alex's room, everybody.
So
Oh, big hard drives.
I have a load of these.
I
These
know.
are
Me
big
too.
hard drives.
I
I
know.
reckon you do. So this
I
has
do.
basically everything I've shot over the past many years.
Yeah.
And it allows me to reference stuff in any video. So in that past video, I had shots from last summer, and I
Yeah.
can just pick out shots. But it takes a long time because on one of these, there's like 10 terabytes of footage.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so
Right.
there's so many clips and so many different shots to look through.
Yeah.
One of the most time-consuming things is just looking for the shot that you want, and it
I
can
know.
be very frustrating
Oh, it
to
is.
try
I
and
think,
find.
oh, I need to put this scene in there. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Where is it? It's perfect. And it's like I'm spending so much time trying to find that. And yeah, I'm like you. I don't have them categorized, I don't think, as good as you do, but I've got so many hard drives filled up with footage. It
Mhm.
takes a lot.
But no, I think it's I guess that's something that I learned when I was working for the fishing tackle company back
Yeah.
when I was younger. Those sorts of things where you have the talking of like the main A roll footage, and
Yeah.
then you have the B roll going over the top.
Right.
That's sort of one of the techniques, I guess, that I
Oh, yeah.
learned.
Yeah. Well, Alex, I hate to say this, but that's all the time we have tonight. We've got some other stuff to do here tonight,
Whoa.
but I wanted to bring you in and just what a pleasure it's been. Wow.
Thank you. It was really nice chatting.
I know. It's just like I'm so glad that we contacted you, and you were able to come in and be with us. And everybody, give a big hand to Alex for being here with us tonight. Wow.
Thank you. Thank you very
Wonderful.
much. I'm going to go to bed now because it's 2 in the morning here.
Ooh,
Nearly 2
2
in
in
the
the
morning.
morning. Yeah, I need to make
Yeah.
these people stop clapping. What are they doing? Yeah, it's like they won't stop. They don't want you to go away. Well, we'll let you get to bed now. So everybody say goodnight to Alex. Thanks again, Alex. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night. Thanks again. All right, everybody. Wow, that was Alex. So we appreciate Alex being here so much tonight with us. And we have some things that we want to do before it reaches 8 o'clock, which is approaching there in 15 minutes. And so one of the things that I wanted to do, if we could get the Alex banner to go away, I want to talk about packages a little bit tonight, because I know some of you are starting with new packages this year, and you're maybe not installed your packages yet. And so packages, ooh, what are you going to do about packages, you know, installing packages? Well, I've got some tips for you tonight on installing packages. So number one, adding wax to your foundation if it's not drawn out is a big help. I've made a lot of videos showing how helpful it is when you add wax to your foundation. And then you simply shake the bees down into your brood box. Maybe it's brand new foundation, move 4 frames out of the way. You might want to spray a little sugar water on your bees if it's not too cold. And then you just shake your bees into the box. And then you place the queen between the middle frames where you've shaken your bees into. And then you leave the package. It's always going to have a few bees near it. You leave that near the entrance. And then you want to feed your bees, because some people think that their new package doesn't need to be fed because, you know, there's dandelions, there's things out there. And that's probably true. You could get by with it. But at the same time, anytime bees are drawing out new foundation, as you see in that image on the ground there, they're going to have to consume a lot of sugar water or nectar, honey, to actually have the energy to make wax. So that's always going to be a big help if you can do that. But the other things that I wanted to talk about briefly was these things. Now, these are important too, absconding. Now, if you've never heard absconding, I'm really worried about absconding anytime I have a package. I really am, because packages can abscond so easy. And that means all your bees leave, including the queen. And that's just because bees are a wild animal. And once they're thrown into a box, they may not want to stay there. It's just like if you bought a bird and you brought it home and it was in a cage and you enjoyed it. But if you leave the cage open, guess what a bird's going to do? It's going to want to fly out back to nature. And sometimes I've gotten new dogs or a new puppy, and new puppies want to run around and run off, or a goat or a cow will run away and run off. So wild animals, even though we try to domesticate honeybees, they can all abscond and want to head back to the trees. Now, there are several things you can do to help bees not be so likely to abscond. And one of them is to put a queen excluder between your bottom board and your first deep box. That way the queen can't go through there and they're less likely to leave. Other things you can do is not get into the hive for about 5 to 7 days. Sometimes if we get in there too soon, they feel like this isn't a good place to be because the top's coming off. I don't really feel comfortable here, and let's go find a better place. And it's hard for the beekeeper to stay out. But anyway, when you do finally get through that period of time when, you know, you feel like, okay, I installed my package, how's it going? You need to check on your queen, make sure she's out of her cage. And then eventually, after several more weeks, you want to start doing mite checks. So that's one thing that can really take a hive down quickly. And then the next thing is going to be, once your bees grow to about 5 to 7 frames, you know, they add wax to the frames, there's bees on those 5 to 7 frames. Then you add your next box, which we've talked about before, on top of that one to give them more room to expand. Let me show you a real quick video here.
Shake the bees down. This doesn't hurt the bees any, like this. Put my finger on the pink tab, pull this up, grab the queen, and then we'll look at her and examine her and make sure she's alive. So we'll just set the queen aside, like maybe right there on a frame. Let her sit there for a minute. And now all we're going to do is dump the bees into the box.
Here we go. Gets noisy.
So you're just shaking the bees in there. Get all the bees down in one spot. For now, let's put the frames back in. So the queen is in her cage here. I take this nail and I'm going to run it through without, you know, hitting the queen. And I'm going to just allow this nail to be what holds the queen cage between 2 frames. Now that's a lot of sugar, because I'm going to remove some of that sugar candy, the queen candy. So be sure and do that. Be sure and clear the cap off of it before you insert the queen. The bees are spraying some Nasinoff gland pheromones to kind of orientate the rest of the bees where the hive is. Now, let's just clean up our little mess we made. And it's ready for a top cover and good to go.
All right, friends, there you go. For all of you that are starting out beekeeping for the first time with a package, there's some good tips that kind of get you familiar with it. I remember the first package I ever installed, I was scared to death. I thought, oh my gosh, what's the process again? What do I do first? You know, when you're brand new, hey, it's not easy. And just remember, everybody that keeps bees was at one point brand new and they're very, very uneasy about what they were doing. So you're not alone. Those of us that have done it for a while, we just look like we know what we're doing a little better, but we were all beginners and didn't know anything when we first started. Thanks, Sally. The Ultimate Beekeeping Course is amazing. Highly recommended. It's available. So I appreciate that. Yeah. Never buy the cart before you buy the horse. Yeah. Some people, I think Gary means some people buy the bees before they buy the hive. And then you don't have any place to put your bees. That's not good. Hey, Straight Creek Apiary, thank you for your donation tonight. When should I remove the queen excluder from the bottom board when installing the package? Don't want to leave it on there too long. I would say no more than about 10 to 14 days, about a week and a half at the most. You're out of the woods by day 14. Yep, absolutely. Good question. We're going to have a giveaway right now. Everybody interested in a giveaway? Yeah, let's do a giveaway. And so what we're going to be giving away tonight is something that I've worked on over the last many years and tweaked it over the years, and that is an inspection guide. And so we offer these for sale on our, I got to set that up. We offer those on our website. And this inspection guide, don't start leaving your comments just yet. I've got to get this set up. Okay. So this inspection guide, I think you'll really like it because I put a lot of work into it to get it to something that I would use, something that helps me really know what I'm supposed to be looking for. And so that's important. I know many times people will inspect their hive and they don't know really what they're supposed to be looking for. But you need to be looking for the right things and keeping really good notes. So, okay, I'm going to start collecting some comments now on that. So you can leave #inspect, and that will be cool. You'll be able to win, or one of you will win the inspection guide tonight. So that'd be something good that you can have around to help you when you go into a hive and you're really not quite sure about what you're supposed to be looking for. And so this inspection guide, I designed it. I've tried to use other ones over the years, and I just wasn't happy. They weren't giving me the information that I wanted to record or help me understand about the bees. And so this is actually, you can print this off. We'll send it to you like a PDF file, and then you can print it off. I like to put it in a 3-hole binder, and that way I can take it out to the field with me. And it helps me record the number of frames that I'm seeing of eggs and brood and various stages and resources. And it has a really good way of helping the beekeeper know what you should do next, what you should be seeing, how you need to respond based on what you're observing in your hive. So going to be giving away one of my inspection guides tonight. So #inspect. All right, we have almost 200 people, or on my screen anyway. All right, let's go ahead and draw. And here we go. Who will be the winner of the inspection guide tonight? Thanks, guys, for watching so much and being part of our live stream tonight. Let's see who our winner. Rachel Jones. Congratulations, Rachel. Way to go for winning the inspection guide. And if you'll just send us an email, we'll be sure and get that out to you as soon as possible. The email address is longlanehoneybes@gmail.com. And that will help us get the right person and get you out there. So you do need to email us within the 24 hours so we can make sure we take care of that as soon as possible. So congratulations, Rachel. Okay. Congratulations. Appreciate that. Okay. So tonight, I want to let you guys know that it's been such a great time. And if you have any questions, we've got about 5 minutes that I can answer some of your questions tonight. I want to thank you all for donating tonight. Looks like we've had a handful of people donating. So we appreciate that so much. It always takes a penny to make things happen. So we do appreciate it. We have 2 new members of my YouTube channel, Jim and Ross. So thank you for supporting my efforts here on YouTube. I really do appreciate that a lot. Always a pleasure. Yep. Thoughts on synthetic drawn comb or brood boxes when installing a nuke? Thoughts on synthetic drawn comb for brood boxes. Okay. Yeah, some people say they are already drawn out. That way they're faster. The bees can get to work and do what they're supposed to do very quickly. I've had mixed results. I will confess I've never used them. But from working with beekeepers over the years, I would say I have talked to as about half and half. 50% of them say, oh, the bees didn't really do a good job with them. They didn't do what I thought they would. And then 50% say they're great. They're awesome. They work perfect. So I would say if you're unsure, you might just have to experiment for yourself and see how things are going to go for you, Michael. Yeah, things are always a little different sometimes depending on the bees in your area. Is there any harm caused if you leave queen cells in a starter hive over 36 hours? Oh, no. I usually say, Linda, somewhere between 24 and 36 hours is fine. What can happen if you go too long? There may not be enough nurse bees in the starter hive. That's how we start queens. And for those of you that are wondering what we're talking about, but we're trying to get the grafts to be fed royal jelly. And we're trying to get those nurse bees to add wax around those grafts. And the longer we leave them in there, if we have a whole bunch of grafts, like sometimes I've got 40 to 60 in a starter hive, if I leave them in there too long, they just can't keep charging them. They can't keep putting royal jelly and stretching them down. And I've done it before on purpose to see what would happen if I didn't do anything but leave them in there forever. And out of about 40, they raised about 4. So the rest of them, they just quit feeding because they didn't have the energy to do it. It gives you an idea. That's why we move them to a finishing hive, to a larger hive that can finish them. I've heard of secondary swarms. If the original queen goes with the swarm, what goes with the secondary swarm? Good question. Here's a good question. Now let's think about this. It could be that you had 2 queens in there, and it could be another queen. It's not uncommon to have 2 queens in a hive, but mostly we do feel the secondary swarms are from virgin queens. And that's what's been my experience. I've caught them before when I was running Russian hives, and the secondary swarms that happened an hour later or later that day, I thought, why did they swarm? There's no queen in there, And it was just a virgin queen, and away they went with her. So yeah, it does happen. That's a good question, Gary. David, what do you think about the Hive Heater? I don't know, the Hive Heater. Boy, there's so many products that are related to heating a hive that I'm not sure which one in particular you're talking about. A Hive Heater. Gonna have to pass on that one because I don't want to speculate, but I do say I've never been comfortable heating a hive because I've always been afraid it's going to misinform the bees about the outside temperature. And I think that they kind of need to know what the temperature is outside. But on the other hand, I've overwintered observation hives that remain in a heated room, and they didn't try to fly out and be crazy. So I would just need more information on the heater hive. Okay, Holly, just opened my hive and realized I have a mite load that is not good. It caught me unaware without anything to use, so I dusted with powdered sugar till I can get something more effective. Is that okay? Hey, something is better than nothing, Holly. Powdered sugar is a tiny bit helpful. It is going to cause some of the mites to fall off. And that was a process that was used in a lot of universities and still is sometimes. When they're doing studies and they can't have any mites on their bees, they'll powder sugar coat them. Well, we are almost out of time. I want to let you guys know that I have a podcast, and you can listen to this beekeeping podcast on your favorite app. It's called Mysteries of Honeybees. You can listen to it on most of your smart home devices, on your phone, Spotify, all your places that you listen to podcasts. So if you're driving down the road, want to listen to my podcast, you can just do a search for Mysteries of Honeybees podcast. I want to thank Jessica and Sherry and all of you for helping out tonight. everything was just so fun and enjoyable. Hearing you guys ask Alex some great questions and hearing what goes on across the pond there in England where he lives with bees. It was really fun learning from him about his take on bees. So guys, thank you so much for being part of Beak Squad. Thank you for the donations tonight. I appreciate, love you all, and making videos for all of you are so rewarding and fulfilling for me. I'm glad I can do that to help you out. So thank you so much for watching all of my videos. I'll see you next time.